What if you woke up tomorrow, turned on the news, and the top story was a colossal creature emerging from the Pacific Ocean? A monster so immense it dwarfs our tallest skyscrapers. This isn't a movie trailer. This is breaking news. This is the day Godzilla became real. What would actually happen? Let's dive in. The first moments would be pure chaos and disbelief. Eyewitness videos would flood the internet. Shaky, terrifying clips of a city-sized reptile. Governments would scramble, initially dismissing it as a hoax. But the seismic readings, the tsunamis, the sheer, undeniable footage would force them to face an impossible truth. A kaiju, a giant beast, is real, and it's heading for the nearest coastline. Militaries would mobilize. It's the only logical first response. Fighter jets would be scrambled. Naval fleets would converge. The first shots fired would be a test. Missiles would streak across the sky and impact Godzilla's hide, only to explode harmlessly. It would be like throwing pebbles at a mountain. We'd quickly learn that our conventional weapons are useless. Godzilla's skin, a product of immense deep-sea pressure and radiation, is practically indestructible. As Godzilla makes landfall, the true scale of the disaster unfolds. Every step is an earthquake. Buildings don't just get knocked over, they're pulverized into dust. The sheer weight and force would shatter infrastructure, collapsing bridges, rupturing gas lines, and turning city blocks into fiery craters. The human cost would be catastrophic, not just from the direct destruction, but from the ensuing panic and chaos. But why is Godzilla here? Is it a mindless beast, or is there a purpose? In many stories, Godzilla is a force of nature, a reaction to humanity's own destructive habits, particularly our abuse of the planet with nuclear energy and pollution. Its appearance wouldn't just be a physical threat, it would be a symbolic one, a giant walking consequence of our actions. Scientists would be working around the clock. Biologists would be baffled by its anatomy, its ability to defy the square-cube law that should make a creature of its size collapse under its own weight. Physicists would study its energy source. Where does it get the power to sustain itself and, more terrifyingly, to unleash its signature atomic breath? It's likely a living nuclear reactor, absorbing radiation from the Earth's core or from our own nuclear waste. This atomic breath changes everything. It's not just fire. It's a focused beam of pure radiation and thermal energy, capable of vaporizing anything in its path and leaving behind a radioactive wasteland. Any city targeted by this attack would be uninhabitable for centuries. This makes Godzilla not just a wrecking ball, but a walking ecological catastrophe. Economically, the world would grind to a halt. Global trade relies on shipping lanes, many of which would now be Godzilla's hunting grounds. Stock markets would crash into oblivion. Insurance companies would go bankrupt overnight. The cost of damage would be in the quadrillions, a number so large it's almost meaningless. The global economy as we know it would cease to exist. So, how do we fight back? When conventional weapons fail, humanity gets creative. We'd have to develop new superweapons. Perhaps something like the oxygen destroyer from the original film, a chemical weapon that disintegrates all life in its vicinity. But using such a weapon carries its own immense risks. What if it backfires and harms the planet even more? Another theory is that Godzilla isn't our only problem. The hollow Earth theory suggests that our planet is home to an entire ecosystem of titans. Godzilla might just be the alpha, the king, emerging to keep other, more malevolent titans in check. In a bizarre twist, Godzilla might actually become our planet's reluctant protector. We'd be caught in the middle of a war between gods, hoping the one that's slightly less interested in destroying us wins. Imagine the societal shift. National borders would become less important. Humanity would have to unite against this common existential threat. A new global agency, a monarch, if you will, would be formed, pooling all scientific and military resources to study and, if possible, coexist with these titans. Our entire focus as a species would shift from fighting each other to simply surviving. New technologies would emerge out of necessity. We might develop energy shields based on what we learned from Godzilla's biology, or new, clean energy sources mimicking its internal reactor. In a strange way, Godzilla's arrival could accelerate our technological evolution by centuries, forcing us to solve problems we never thought we'd face. Living in a world with Godzilla would be a constant state of anxiety. Kaiju alerts would be as common as weather reports. Coastal cities would be abandoned, with populations moving inland to new, fortified settlements. Architecture would change, with buildings designed to be either Titan-proof or easily rebuilt. Our relationship with the planet would be forever altered. We would finally understand that we are not the masters of this world. We are merely its tenants, and the landlord has shown up. Ultimately, the existence of Godzilla would force us to look in the mirror. It would be a terrifying, humbling lesson. We'd learn that there are forces in the universe far greater than us, and that our actions have consequences on a planetary scale. Godzilla would be the ultimate symbol of nature's power, a monstrous, radioactive reminder that the Earth doesn't belong to us. We belong to it. What do you think? Could humanity survive? Or would we just be a footnote in the history of the King of the Monsters? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Thanks for watching this deep dive into a world with Godzilla. If you enjoyed this journey into the hypothetical, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more what-ifs, and ring that bell so you don't miss our next video. See you next time.